versus Preposterous. We'll review that game in a moment, but you know what? Up in Seattle, there is a Microsoft viewing party going on.
What?
I know. So from everyone here on Facebook, hi Microsoft, up in Seattle. I know a lot of the Amazon guys are up there hanging out, having a good time as well.
I'm also a fan of the Northwest, Sean, so hi to everyone in the Northwest.
I know that you are indeed an Oregander.
Oregandian is the correct term there. So they are going to go ahead and get set up there inside of their booths right now. And it does look like Microsoft indeed.
And there it is. There's the viewing party in Microsoft. We are seeing them live.
Wow.
And a couple of frames per second has a full theater.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive there, Sean. That's pretty awesome stuff.
I mean, Team Microsoft, again and again and again, and there's the Thunder Sticks going on. There's actually a TV set.
Jim Raynor is also in attendance with his two brothers over there, so.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Team Microsoft has just had such amazing team spirit, regularly having weekly practice matches where they get together, and the team sizes were restricted to 12 members that could be sent out each week, but they had, you know, up to like 50 or 60 people regularly playing in those practice games.
Yeah, and it shows you the importance of teams in StarCraft 2. It has been proven here, and also I think there's a very specific build designed for this map, so they're planning for this, Sean. They know exactly what's up, and the maps. What is our next map going to be, Sean?
Well, as you may or may not expect, it is the Tal Darim Altar map that we're going to be doing at the After Hours Gaming League. Tal Darim Altar, basically the largest map that has ever been created ever. There are so many expansions. I mean, if you just take a look at that top right base, we can see 4 expansions that are meant for it. That center-ish one, the one that is at 1 o'clock, and then the one that I guess I'd say is around 11:45. Up in that north-ish corner, so you can get huge amounts of bases very rapidly.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the build we saw from our Zerg player in the last game, I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar in that game. I mean, he was definitely looking for the late game, getting those 3 gas at the same time. His macro was going to get out of control very quickly. So, I mean, at that point, the Terran player has to do something. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something heavy macro on that map. And you're mentioning hidden bases. Always a threat on that map, man. Terran,
absolutely.
They get away with it every time. We'll see if that comes into effect. At least against me, but, you know.
Now, in our next 2 players, let's go ahead and introduce them. The first player from Team Microsoft is going to be none other than Aristotle, the Zerg player, whose title, his job duty, is code writing.
Yeah, I Write Code is the official name of his title there, and he also is going to be playing Zerg today, which Zerg so far in this series haven't had luck. In that one Zerg, he just got stumped. So we'll see if the Swarm can come back here.
Well, interestingly, there's actually a kind of a funky racial distribution on the Zynga team, mainly Zergs, which makes our job so easy to say the Zynga Zerg nonstop. And there is that one Protoss, though, Jules, the team leader, Kevin Kang, who has just been putting so many wins on the table for Team Zynga. I really think that if Zynga wants to win, they're really going to have those power players pull through. So many of the Microsoft players, though, are in that high master spot.
Yep. A lot of Zergs indeed. How many Zergs do they have, Sean? Does it?
I think maybe.
Is it all Zergs?
4 of their 6 players coming out today, I do believe, are the Zerg pieces. So we do have one Zerg, of course, Aristotle, coming out. His opponent will be Zerg. It's going to be Preposterous coming out to play against him, who has had some incredibly good Ling Baneling action. And there he is.
There he is right there. He is the senior artist. I almost said Sir Artist, which I feel like that is not the correct title there. So yeah, of course, he is Zerg as well. He says, what other hobbies do you have? I love cars, drones, and overlords, and long rolls on the beach with banelings.
Well, you know what?
Why would he like that? That just sounds
Well, he actually
dangerous.
has pet banelings, and they dance and play in the sand, and if anyone scares them, he just blows a huge hole in the beach. Now, to note about Preposterous, he has actually had some amazing Ling Baneling in games. He has had so many Zerg vs. Zergs in the league coming up to today, and those Ling Baneling battles can have such high variance.
Oh, yes. Always exciting stuff there for the early game with those banelings rolling around. So they are just going to be getting set up here, Sean. They look so happy over there in their little booths. I love these soundproof booths. I wish I had these in my bedroom when I play. So when my mom's like, "Come get dinner," I can't hear.
I'm locked inside my own soundproof booth. And I'd like to give thanks to NASL, who is lending us the booths for the event, brought them up here to Northern California. I always want to say sunny Southern California.
I know, you're so used to it.
That is so wrong.
And I can't really say I'm like, welcome to rainy Oregon.
Yeah.
But I did hear, Sean, that these booths are not very light. I feel like
they weigh 1,000 pounds each. But fortunately, Eric and Tom,
great guys, by the way.
Yeah.
Those Eric
lifted it single-handedly, lifted 500 pounds each. Each of them can bench about as much as you can control. So that one booth was no problem at all.
Oh yeah, no problem. They just carried one on their back apiece. So are they?
I'd like to give an extra special shout out to the amazing production team here. Hogan.
Yes.
Hogan, the man himself, back in the corner, making all the magic happen on the TriCaster today. And there he is.
There he is. He's so happy to be on camera. And he's back for round 2.
And there he is. Helps with every Day 9 production dream hack countdown party that we did. And of course, the illustrious cameraman, can he show himself?
Can he do it without dropping that
Monsieur
$25,000 camera?
Well, he actually can't do it. That's actually dangerous. You don't want to hold a camera just like, hey, what's up? This isn't MySpace.
Yeah, you do not take a MySpace photo with a camera like that.
So it looks like.
Is he managing to do it there, though? I feel like
Oh,
he is.
unbelievable! And there's, of course, the largest check known to man. Now, these players are just getting all their equipment set up, all their drivers set up on Tal'Darim Altar. What are your thoughts on how the Zerg vs. Zerg is going to be playing out?
You know what, Sean? A huge map like that is going to buy them a lot of time. Now, I've seen in a lot of Zerg versus Zergs that they aren't able to finish out the game with just Zerglings and Banelings. It does start to transition into mass roach, and then they start to get out the infestors towards the late game. So in most of the games I've seen recently, especially on huge macro maps, I mean, yes, sometimes there are major mistakes, but I mean, they're in the finals, so I don't know if they're going to be ending up losing 20 Zerglings to 1 Baneling, which I kind of remember back in the beta days when everyone's like, Banelings and ZVZ are fun because I can either win with one or I lose with one.
Yeah, it's like flipping a coin. It's like betting your entire life savings on red.
Yeah, absolutely.
And roulette, yeah.
So yeah, but I feel like players have adapted, gotten better. So in most ZVZs I've seen on this map, it does get to late game.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's really important to note is that Zerglings with speed get better and better and better the longer the distances are between the two bases.
Yes.
Because if you have Banelings trying to make their way forward, sure, if they get there eventually, they can kill off maybe 20 Zerglings in one blow if
and
you're lucky
roaches aren't much faster.
Yeah, but the speed Zerglings, so many players on Tal'Darim Altar favor the early expand, getting the speed really fast, and then only counterattacking. And especially on Tal'Darim Altar, I mean, if we take a look at that map graphic again, there are no tight chokes anywhere on Tal'Darim Altar. It is nearly impossible. There's no ramp. It's not like on Lost Temple where you can just clog it up. Excuse me, Shattered Temple.
Yeah.
What am I, a StarCraft 1 player? Well, we actually didn't even play it that much in that game.
That is true. That one got swept off the board. And in Warcraft 3, they're like, we're going to call it the same thing, but it looks nothing like the original. But also, 4 watchtowers on this map, Sean, and watching Zerg players in ZVZ try and grab those watchtowers is just the most entertaining thing ever, because one player will send 1 Zergling, then someone will send 2, and then they just, it's back and forth nonstop. But it's always important to know exactly the timings of your opponent if possible. And also, a lot of times in ZVZ, you'll see players use overlords because they can safely hover them around for a long time. But on a map like Tal'Darim Altar, it's a lot bigger. I almost said huger.
Yeah, it's huger. It's the hugest map known to man. And the important thing about Zerg vs. Zerg is those overlord, the positioning, counting the amount of units that you're seeing is the most important thing in the known universe. Sean said, assuming that that's what both players would be doing, or they're trying to do any last-minute strategy-ing. And of course, once again, hi Microsoft. There's Microsoft hanging out up in the sunny Seattle.
Now, due to internet technology, in 25 minutes, we will see them acknowledge that you called them out, and they will wave to you. So there they go. That is a lot of people there. A guy messing around with his coat. But viewing parties. I'm wondering if there's more viewing parties out there.
And it looks like Preposterous is finally ready. Yes, if you have a viewing party, feel free to do a little post on Reddit on the Team Liquid thread. Take a photo of you watching AHGL.
Yes.
And I do believe if you go to jinx.com, you can buy one of these great AHGL shirts, After Hours Gaming, and the color palette, so good.
So good.
And actually, you know, while these players are getting ready, and it looks like they have just joined in, for any of you who didn't know, there is an amazing community member named Bernard. Bernard Forte, who designed the Day 9 TV logo. He designed this very design. A big round of applause for Bernard for making Day 9 pretty. And there, ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has begun.
Yeah, we're at 5 seconds here, Sean. So this is going to be game number 2. And look at the awesome design there on those booths. I keep staring over there at it. They look absolutely fantastic. So, of course, the map is going to be Tal'Darim Altar. We've been talking about it, and here it is. And they both have fancy icons here. So, obviously, the game is going to be 45 minutes of nonstop action.
Well, it looks like in the bottom right, from Team Zynga, his team is down 0-1 right now. Can he come back? It is Zynga's Preposterous.
in the top left side, it is going to be the other Zerg player. They are up 1-0. It is Aristotle from Team Microsoft. And Sean, they are going to be spawning about as far away as you can. So if there's any chance for a long macro game in ZVZ, it's going to be on this map with these spawns. A small extractor trick there. If you're still wondering what that is, it does get you an extra drone just a tiny bit earlier. But it does cost, it's something like, what, 8 minerals or something when you cancel the extractor there. So that's all we've seen so far, really.
And I've seen Preposterous do this exact build before in league play. He's going to be going for an 11 pool, trying to get up that Zergling, Baneling pressure as quickly as he can, and he took an amazing win in the semifinals with that exact build to get here today. And there we see, there's the spawning pool. The Overlord is done. We will no doubt see gas very soon.
And Aristotle deciding to go for the definitely macro heavy here as he is continuing to produce the drones right now. Is he going to be going for that expansion? He's going to be hovering around here, 200 minerals in just a moment. Looks like that drone is indeed going to go out there, and it looks like he will be expanding here. Do you have any thoughts on this 11 pool versus an early expanding Zerg? Is this going to be really hard for you to expand?
Oh my gosh, you know what, Husky? I think this is going to be near impossible for Aristotle to hold off. The Microsoft Zerg is going to be in a lot of trouble when the Zynga Zerg gets those speed Zerglings in there. And if he transitions into Banelings, though that might sound a lot more effective, though it might sound like it will put the nail in the coffin, that will leave Preposterous with almost no drones if he goes with a very, very fast Baneling. So that will turn it into a very tenuous all-in situation, and he is going to have to work very hard to make sure that he doesn't accidentally lose with one of those missed Baneling bombs.
Oh yes, those things are always important. I mean, you can lose 20 plus Zerglings to a single Baneling. Now the spawning pool is going down right now for Aristotle in the top left side. You can see him hiding it back there. He is going to be getting that gas, most likely going to try and get that Zergling speed as soon as he possibly can. But the Zerglings are going to be spawning here fairly soon for our blue Zerg in the bottom right side, and the Zergling speed has begun already. More Zerglings are on the way. Now, Sean, do you think he's going to attack right away, or is he going to wait for this inject larva to pop off one more round of Zerglings?
Well, what's really interesting about what Preposterous does is that I think he gets the very, very early pool just to begin speed ASAP. And what we see in the unit station, he actually has a good amount of drones out, so he will be able to get his own expansion up quite quickly. It's a clever way, again, just to get fast Zergling speed, but we see Aristotle going for the dreaded Roach Warren.
Yeah. Ooh. And that means he won't be able to put on a lot of pressure right away, but Roaches are fairly good at defense, but the problem is there's really no small ramp to put those Roaches on to hold this off. Now, the Roaches survive for an extremely long time versus the Zerglings simply because they do spawn with that one armor, and they do a substantial amount of damage to these Zerglings as well. And Sean, you're showing the vision of the players right now, which is very, very important. Again, in ZVZ, you can leave your Overlords kind of hanging out for the majority of the game. I mean, how often do you see Hydralisks or Mutalisks in ZVZ? Very rarely. The only thing you have to watch out for is Queens, and they are awfully slow off of that creep. So he is making 4 Roaches right here, Sean. I think he'll be okay against the Zerglings, but that is a lot of Zerglings, and I have seen time and time again versus Roaches, if you split up those Zerglings and run them to both bases at once, it can be a nightmare for these units, so he's going to have to connect these 2 bases.
Aristotle's going to be in for a really nasty surprise as he has a giant pack of speed Zerglings rush right cross map. And it looks like there's the Zergling. Oh, there's something coming, you guys. And we do see
that is going to force him to make more Roaches. He has started his own Zerglings right now. He does not have that Zergling speed. Sean, you called it correctly. More Banelings, or they will be on the way here fairly soon. The Overlord's going to spot this as well. So is he going to have enough here? His supply will be ahead, but of course it's just those Roaches. He's not making any Overlords right now, so he needs to be careful. He can't let those Zerglings get inside the main base, but protecting that choke is so difficult. And you can see right now he's not even able, neither player really able to mine from these expansions. And right now our blue Zerg is transitioning into getting a lot of drones.
Yeah, Preposterous, again, despite getting a very early pool, is going for a long-term style play. He has the Baneling nest out, but these are defensive Banelings. Going to hang out at home. They will begin their waddle all the way forward, but I mean, the Roach count from Aristotle is very, very high. Both players making a decent amount of drones, and we see Aristotle smartly not having that many mine at this expansion because the speed Zerglings are so fast that extra drones at the Expo can be a big vulnerability until you get enough units up.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing both players begin making a lot of drones once again, and he does have position in the center of the map with those Zerglings and the Banelings, but right now it does look like our green Zerg player finally able to go ahead and saturate that expansion. The Roach Warren for our blue Zerg is going to begin going down right now. And Sean, can we take a quick look just at the units tab? I'm kind of curious where they are matched up against each other. We do have 23 drones versus the 26, so you're mentioning that early spawning pool doesn't mean an early all-in or anything like that, and now he's way ahead in drones. Actually, he does have 7. Now here comes the Banelings. Are they going to be able to hit these Zerglings? We'll see if he can get some money shots here with these, but I don't know if he's going to be able to, as you don't want to attack roaches with Banelings.
Oh, don't worry, guys. Banelings and roaches are basically not going to ever interact. And oh, no, you Banelings, you did the move command and went the wrong way.
Oh, Sean, time and time again on this map, the AI there, if you click on the majority of the map there, it will split up your army like that. I've had it happen as a Protoss, and I've seen it happen with Zerg with their roaches many, many times. That's going to give him the confidence to move out. He knows his Zerglings are a little bit safe, and his Zergling speed is almost done here. Is the blue Zerg going to be prepared for this?
Oh no, we do see 8 roaches now spawning for Preposterous. He better not make drones with his next round of larva. What will he be doing? We see a lot of roaches spawning out right now. A Baneling nest would help him so much in this defense, but we do see a giant train of green across the middle of the map. But oh no, the Microsoft Zerg does engage a little bit too early, but here comes the major assault.
And there's a lot of reinforcements headed through the center of the map during this battle. Now the roach number for our green Zerg is heavily outnumbering. Now the drones are going to be pulled off the line. That means these roaches aren't going to be doing nearly as much damage as they are focusing down those drones. Of course, you don't want to be losing drones, but he did have a slight advantage. Here comes a couple more Zergies. Is he going to do a run by or get this round? He does decide to get the surround. And at this moment, it does look like Preposterous is going to be in a lot of trouble. Nice focus firing with these green roaches, and it does look like the slight macro advantage he had in the early game is really starting to pay off here as these roaches are just going to town.
The huge push from Aristotle from Team Microsoft now breaking down the front door of the Zynga Zerg. The natural expansion is in shambles. Drones in the main trying to step in, but will he lose? His second queen is down to 5 health, and she falls, and it looks like the Microsoft Zerg might be able to take his team up to 2-0.
Yeah, and with more reinforcing Zerglings here, Sean, I don't know if there's much that our blue Zerg Preposterous can be doing here. Even more reinforcements.
And there's the good game. Microsoft now taking the series to 2-0.
Yeah. You know, they seem very, very confident coming into this. But, Sean, what do you think about that opening build that the winner ended up using? Was that a good build? I mean, just in the very, very beginning, those 2 builds, was he in a good spot from the very beginning, or did he really have to work for the win there?
You know, I honestly think that Preposterous could have put on a ton of pressure. We've seen that whenever you get that Zergling speed upgrade that fast, I mean, Aristotle was forced to make almost no drones for such a long amount of time. If you ended up looking at his own base, you would see no drones mining at the expansion. We saw that he was behind on drones for most of the game. But Zerg vs. Zerg is a matchup where you can't really sneak out a round of drones. You can maybe sneak out just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So Preposterous overcompensated for the fact that Aristotle was staying home defending and just didn't quite have enough for that first big push.
Yeah, and those early roaches were able to hold off. I mean, one thing in ZVZ on this map in the early game that I'm always terrified for the players is Zerglings running by into the main base. I've seen it time and time again with the roaches slowly trying to claw their way over there to catch back up, and it just was not able to make that happen even though he was utilizing that build on this map. So they are going to be up 2-0.
And I'm hearing the extremely loud thunder sticks from off camera of the people just whacking them together, having a huge amount of fun. And of course, the most important aspect of AHGL is to have fun, which is why everyone's making so much noise today.
You know, Sean, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I have a pair of thunder sticks at home, and I sit at home watching the GSL by myself in my dark room, and I am freaking out. And our neighbors above us, they just hate it.
I know. I have 5
They don't
roommates.
understand.
And I even watch them with headphones on.
Yeah, so you don't even know you're doing it. Yeah.
That's so great. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have had 2 games, we'll be taking a very brief intermission before we hop into game number 3 here at the After Hours Gaming League Grand Finals. Microsoft currently up 2-0. Let's find out what happens after this brief break. I'm Day 9.
And I'm Husky. We'll see you guys in just a moment.